present this. Okay, but until in the meantime, these are the astrology aspects. Okay, I like to call them alchemy astrology. I want to call it that, but I'm still playing around with it. So anywho, this will be for May 21st. Okay, this whole week. These are the energies that are mixing in, and the theme of the week again is called or titled All Bets Are In. All right, so Mars will be opposing Pluto, and Pluto is retrograded. And so this energy gives me the vibe of some kind of failure, ending, or completion. It definitely gives waving of the white flag kind of vibe, okay? Mars definitely initiates that action. And remember with Mercury and Aries, it was giving don't start none, won't be none. Well, now those who started some, okay, they started some shit, it's going to either be ended it's going to be ended, okay? Defeat is here, okay? And now these very people who wanted to start some shit will be crawling back with their tail in between their legs, looking for sympathy and some type of nurturing. Now, with Pluto retrograded involved, the energy here is extremely stubborn, materialistic, unchanging, and very temperamental. The energy can be restricting and suffocating. This indicates those who transgressed against you in any way. They're going to be coming back with apologies and wanting to make amends. The problem with these energies mixing is the fact that it took someone to lose everything or to be backed into a corner in order for them to be humble. All right, for them to humble themselves enough to show any kind of remorse. This is ultimately energy that is willing to destroy everything in order to gain power. And when everything is destroyed, only then do they see the error in their ways. It gives emotional manipulation vibes, especially with Mars and Cancer. This is someone who will test and provoke your emotions to get an emotional reaction. Once you react, they then, Mars and Cancer, want to act like the victim. The challenge with this aspect is foresight and strategy. A good strategist and warrior is able to see in the future, to play chess and counterintuitive someone's future moves. With that being said, I would consider the people, places, and things that you get into long-term contracts and relationships with. Is there something that you find appealing, acceptable, or subtle with this person, place, or thing that you could possibly change later? And this is like, this is going to be like, for an example, dating a man who displays subtle passive aggressive behaviors in the beginning of dating. It appears innocent and not a big deal, but what if 2 years down the line, what if that subtle display of passive aggression is now full-blown aggression? What if you start dating someone who displays a lot of affection in the beginning, and at first you think it's endearing, then 2 years down the line that cute affection turns into full-blown scary possession? This aspect is simply asking those what if questions for the future. Could something that appears small now grow into something major and in a negative or positive way? With this aspect is giving alchemy vibes, okay? Are you able to make a situation that starts bad and turn it into something good? Can something good turn bad? Is balance achievable, or is there more risk than reward gained? Again, the theme of this week is all bets are in. Personally, I believe that you can't lose if you don't play. Moving forward, the sun, as you can see, is beaming on my face, is squaring up with Saturn. All right, so when the sun is in Aries at 29 degrees, we established that at that time, okay, that when Taurus season hit, you're going to need to maintain all projects, relationships, positions, energies, and all moves that you initiated back in Aries season. There was also a promise of reaping the fruit of your labor for all. Now with Saturn, I was initially getting mixed energy. And please note, aspects in astrology is about blending and mixing of energies, and I like to call this alchemy. So Saturn is being mixed with the sun gives a truly humbling energy for sure. The decisions that people made, the directions folks chose to go towards, including yourself, me too. All right, we all have new devils that are being assigned to stop you, stop them, and stop me. Okay, they're all getting in position. All right, now again, it could be new devils for some, and the same ones plus new ones for the others. Okay, it just depends. All right, and so as aforementioned above, only the strong are going to survive. We already saw with Mars and Cancer that some people are going to wave the white flag. Meanwhile, others are going to present challenges. Okay. Those others are your demons, your new demons that are assigned to hate and discourage you. It's important to note that Saturn takes a lot of time, and time is usually required for solid change to occur. And so these new haters of yours are choosing to learn the hard way. Those are choosing, they are choosing to resist change, okay? Resist that there's a new leader, new rules, and essentially a new world order that you represent. The challenge with this aspect is learning to let your haters hate and to keep calm. The sun in Taurus makes one calm. Saturn in Aquarius talks about harsh life lessons that come directly in the form of people in life. Most people despise change and they attempt to attack the very change in whom they deem as a threat to their routine life and ideals. Again, you cannot lose if you do not play, and these people will resort to all kinds of mind games or literal temper tantrums because a change is being implemented. Saturn in Aquarius is very intellectual energy as well. And so if this change doesn't occur due to a new rule or new regulations being implemented, the attacks are going to come from a new idea, concept, or project that threatens what they thought they knew. Okay, now if you are a victim to these attacks, you are learning how to not respond or to care. It's like being in training, for fame, honestly. The sun in Taurus is very slow. Pluto is retrograded, which adds to that slowness. And then Saturn makes things unbearably slower. So this does give a very slow grind and new haters, on the grind, okay? They can't stop you, but they certainly will try. You are learning, some of you will be learning to temper your ego, to calm down and to not care and to work diligently despite the hate and shade, okay, in the Saturn shade, okay? So despite the hate and Saturn shade, you're just going to be, head down, diligently working, ignoring the BS. And this is why I said this is almost like you're going to be training for fame, pretty much. Like, why do you think people who are famous and this and that, they don't care about anything, okay? They were trained, all right, to be like that. So I do feel like this is kind of the energy. You're going to have haters, and you're learning how not to respond to them. You're learning what it's like to have genuine haters, okay? All right, so this aspect is meant to alchemize into developing thick skin, i.e. that Taurus energy, thick skin, okay? Some of you may be having skin issues right now, okay, like acne or pimples, or eating a lot. You may be feeling the need to eat more, all right? And this is due to this sun in Taurus. Taurus is hungry, okay? That second house is hungry. But you got to eat to grow, and that's what the second house gets into. That's what Taurus is about, eating to grow, okay? So this is the vibe. Back to my script. So if you guys are not having any severe skin issues, there may be issues with the teeth, your bones, or your nervous system as well, all right? Now, lastly, I think, okay, but this energy also can manifest where someone is financially stable and it attracts someone who is not financially stable, all right? If this has nothing to do with money, maybe someone who is confident attracts someone who's insecure. Someone who's spiritual is going to attract a religious person, and you get the point. The alchemy of these energies create opposition and opposites, okay? On a witchcraft level, this definitely insinuates witchcraft, a curse, a hex, or spell at play. No pun intended. Now, the moon will be squaring up with Neptune. I aforementioned a possibility of two outcomes regarding opposites attracting and whether or not it was safe or beneficial or a safe or beneficial investment for the future to deal with this person, place, or thing. Basically, tough decisions were being made that would have a profound effect on someone's life or faith in the future. Now, I do not encourage anyone to run away from challenges and hardships in life because I truly believe life is a blend of that. However, the decisions needed to be made at this time is whether or not the energy you're merging with or you're in a, who you're trying to merge with is in alignment with who you are and what you're trying to set out for, okay? A healthy alignment is what is being sought, and what I find healthy, someone else may deem the opposite, okay? So with the moon squaring up with Neptune, the energies created here is understanding and accepting that everyone is different with different needs, wants, desires, and pleasures. Now with the sun squaring Saturn, I certainly am not interested in playing games, nor am I interested in power and domination. So that energy wouldn't resonate with me. However, these energies mixed together with the moon squaring Neptune, I'm able to understand and accept above energy isn't for me, okay? So even though what I just talked about, what I deem to be good may be bad and vice versa, it's just there's an acceptance energy that's happening, okay, for some people. And so this is given that quote, the quote comes alive pick your poison. Okay, that's what came to mind as I was typing this. Another challenge, okay, this aspect can present is being able to balance your ego and emotions in order to avoid poison. All right, these energies created with this aspect can cause some fogginess, making it hard to see and feel clearly. I know I mentioned above you can't lose if you don't play, and for some, maybe you do need to play because you can win. But you can also lose, okay? Even if I'm struggling with this energy, it is strong manipulation or stimulation, which only confirms what I said above about some kind of spell or witchcraft being at play. And all puns are intended at this time with that, okay? Now, Mars is going to be squaring up with Jupiter, okay? So Mars was giving me a feeling or a vibe of failure, endings, and completions and fear. Now, this fear can trigger some to wave the white flag towards you or, to themselves. Some will surrender to their fears, which will ultimately hold or keep them captive. However, for others, there will be a challenge to step out on faith and to surrender to the divine completely. Now, we are talking Mars here, so this does leave an opportunity for an attack, okay? I personally have felt spiritually led to read some Art of War books, and I certainly remember Robert Greene mentioning how it is a strategy to appear weak, fearful, or occupied to dismantle the enemy. All right, I did that. I did read that in some cases, a white flag was waved just long enough to attack a weak front. So with Mars in Cancer, the challenge is not being able to trust someone's actions. The challenge with this aspect also is trusting someone who should not be trusted. Mars in Cancer is like a dude coming up to you, addressing you as beautiful and etc. And then the moment you turn him down, he reveals to you that you are really ugly and he just wanted to have sex with you. The moment someone doesn't get their way or you didn't fall for their schemes, then they get mad, and that's when they reveal their true intentions. All right, the Mars energy getting activated. The Mars energy gets activated, and now it's their mission to hurt you the way your rejection hurt them, okay? So this energy can simply manifest where someone's true feelings are exposed, or this can manifest where you are being emotionally manipulated for someone else's gain. The ultimate challenge is being able to discern someone's actions and see and hear through their words. The test of your intuition is what this aspect is essentially bringing, okay? Jupiter is going to be squaring up with Pluto, and Pluto is retrograded, okay? So the many misguided souls are being redirected back into the grasps of the devil. This aspect indicates fools who fell for the BS, bluntly put. When we were discussing Mars squaring up with Jupiter, I mentioned how intuition is very important to listen to, but I also mentioned the senses, sight, taste, smell, feel, and hearing. All of your senses are needed to get the full understanding of that energy, or what's energetically and physically being presented to you. A lot of people fall for appearances and misunderstand their senses. Example, most people confuse lust for love. Others confuse hate for love. Okay, some think love means hate, means showing hate. A lot of times people are thirsty, but they think their body is telling them that they're hungry. Okay, having a strong intuition to receive spiritual downloads requires strong spiritual senses, not just strong physical senses. In fact, that's the problem with society today. They have a hyper-developed physical sense and a complete lack of spiritual sense. All right, this is like saying we as a human race should be able to write with both hands, but as you can see, the majority have only mastered writing with one hand. The one hand person is hyper developed, leaving the other arm weaker. Something that should be normal is now being seen as a superpower. Okay, now when you see that someone who can write with both hands, you start to think that they're a freak or they're amazing. Okay, depending on your perspective. With all of that said, the challenge here is accepting spiritual truths that seem freaky or overwhelming to you. By accepting that person who can write with both hands, all right, and believing there are others out there like that, okay, and like you, is exactly the energy being manifested here. All right, all you need is faith of a mustard seed to move mountains, and in this case, the mountain that needs rearranging or destructing is that retrograded Pluto in Capricorn in the 6th house. Pluto retrograded is basically giving a warning. Either reflect and make changes or get taken out by the tower that is brewing. It's almost like higher powers and realms are taking names, okay? Now, I compared it to Santa Claus making a list and checking it twice, all right? Trying to find out who's a fraud or dedicated. Now, understand there's always someone watching someone. If evil is watching you, just know divine energy is too. Everybody is watching, okay? Pick a side. Armies are forming. Which side are you betting on? Okay, who do you trust? Before any peace can be had, war has to be fought. And like I said, with Jupiter squaring Pluto retrograde, you got to pick your side because you're either going to win or fail with the side that you choose. And again, all bets are in and you can't retract your bet. All right, you can't do that. Now I wanted to go back to my point with the left hand and then someone, it's like an energy where, like, let's say we're all supposed to be able to use both of our hands to write and do whatever. But we're not, right? And so when you see someone who can use both of their hands, it's kind of like you think this is like a superpower or you think this is like out of this world. And it's just like, no, you should be able to do this too. That's basically the energy that I'm getting. It's like people looking at you like, you know, something's wrong with you or you're amazing for doing something that we should all be doing, you know, collectively. All right. So that's what I meant by that. Moving forward, the ascendant will be squaring up with the sun. Okay, so due to the descendant having Lilith, Uranus energy lingering in the depths and in the shadows, debating on when and where and how to shake things up. Well, okay, I'm here to sound the trumpet, okay, because the time is now. Lights, camera, action, okay, everyone, okay. Because it's looking, you know, the revolution is not going to be televised here, okay? Lilith wants everyone to know it's her time, okay? And it would be in everyone's best interest to bow down. All right, I was mentioning in previous astrology forecasts that there was a new face, a CEO, a manager, and a boss. Well, it's looking like it's Lilith, all right? Personally, I've been feeling overwhelmed to speak on Lilith, and some are receptive and interested to know more. Meanwhile, others want to battle with me. They want to argue and debate, and I'm truly just the messenger, okay? So attacking me is attacking Lilith, and if you and if you don't sense her presence, I don't feel bad for you, son, okay? Because Lilith is about, you know, is about to sun MFs, okay? She's about to sun motherfuckers, okay? Okay, even though the sun in Taurus was being used to alchemize patience, all right, I don't think that energy is going to apply for those who want to have an ego war, okay? It's giving, don't start none, won't be none. Some people want to start some shit, and I promise Lilith is going to hold them accountable. Lilith is going to make them eat their words. With the ascendant in Leo, it looks like this is a great week for the outcasted, the weirdos, and even the queers to finally come out their closets, out their rooms, okay, and to accept and own their individuality. This is especially great for those weirdos who have platforms and businesses. Okay, you are more than likely to attract more business, patronage, and support. The challenge with this aspect is exactly what I said. Don't start none, you can't finish, and these people who start some shit will be finished with a quickness. In other words, those weirdos and outcasts will have divine protection moving forward. Touch not Lilith's anointed. The ascendant is going to be squaring up with Uranus. Okay, so this aspect is for the ones who decided to attack Lilith. They have officially burned a bridge. Okay, the fact that Pluto retrograded is under the fact that Pluto is retrograded and Lilith is retrograded, that lets me know that Pluto is under Lilith's jurisdiction right now, especially, and then the North Node is also retrograded in Aries. So Lilith is running this shit right here, and these people will be shocked to see that their life is spiraling downhill with a quickness. All right, it's going to happen out of nowhere, and the worst part about it, these people are going to know exactly why their life is going down. At this very moment, those same people are going to be begging for mercy to come back, and when they do, they will realize that the bridge is burnt. They will soon realize they are stuck in the same environment and energy they tried to box you in. This is basically a return to sender energy, and for some, this return has taken some time. But like I mentioned, with the descendant in Aquarius, Lilith is lurking in the shadows, waiting, only coming out in that Leo ascendant to attack. This is not good for anyone who underestimated you in the past, present, and very dangerous for anyone in the future. North Node is retrograded and is squaring up with Mars. That's retrograded as well. Wow. All right. So the North Node that's retrograded for some will manifest as newfound confidence in yourself and abilities. The same goes for your enemies or anyone who underestimates you, whether that be past, present, or future tense. Anyone feeling bold will regret it once Lilith retrograde comes out of nowhere with that ascendant in Leo and attacks. Now, with the North Node retrograded, people were being stopped dead in their tracks, being forced to surrender. With Mars retrograded, remember we talked about war tactics and the weapons of choice. And the weapon of choice was your emotions. Well, again, with the descendant in Aquarius, Lilith was waiting to defend you. And when I mention Lilith, I mean your true nature, your authenticity, your honesty is what saved you from destruction. By honoring your truth, it's easy to see someone else's lie. You can see lies in their body language, their words, actions, how they smell, and of course how they look. So basically anyone who thinks you are weak, easily swayed, sensitive, or a pushover will be sadly mistaken when you do not play into their attack. Again, you can't lose if you don't play. Lilith is Lilith is Aquarius, which is naturally indifferent to games and play, which is a Leo thing. Hence why Lilith only comes out to attack in the Leo ascendant when provoked. This provoking is emotional and intuitive provoking. Lilith comes out to protect and defend when spiritual warfare is sent your way. Okay, with the North Node retrograded squaring up with Mars that's retrograded, any and all attacks sent your way immediately gets returned to sender. No negativity will touch you, basically. That protection is only granted to those chosen. And remember, the bridge was burned in a previous alchemical aspect. The ascendant squaring up with Uranus was the specific aspect, and it sounds like a spiritual spell of immunity or immorality was created and gifted to you at this time. All right, the North Node is retrograded and is squaring up with Pluto that's retrograded. So this energy just reiterates that you have haters and you are popping, and that they don't want the smoke. And as I was typing this, I was starting to feel extremely restless, anxious, and in a rush, but for no reason. Energetically, I could be picking up on these haters. They have a lot of energy, hate, resentment, bitterness, and triggers being activated, and they can't do shit about it, basically. This energetically makes sense because the North Node squaring up with Mars that's retrograded was revealing that a spell or a protective shield is around you, and this would render all negativity powerless and sent back to where it came from. I also wanted to mention the word itching, and I know I mentioned earlier that some people may be experiencing issues with their skin. On a lower level, some acne or eczema, okay, may flare up. Now, on a higher level, hospitalization may be needed. This is how I feel energetically about these mixtures of energies. This is giving a take your own medicine type of vibe, and it appears that these people are getting themselves sick off their own supply, right? Now, this happens whenever someone wants to fuck with you, especially if you have your Lilith activated. Whenever there's a retrograde planet, especially in natal birth charts, those are superpowers waiting to be activated. A progressed natal chart will reveal if it has been activated or not. Okay. Now, Lilith is retrograded, and she's squaring up with Uranus, which is her planet, right? So this is, again, giving that follow the leader. Lilith is clearly the leader, okay? And I just want to bring to everyone's attention that Lilith is calling the shots and she's in control. With everything, it's two-folded. So energetically, this gives a shockingly successful vibe, but also a shockingly fall from grace kind of vibe. It truly depends on the moon in Taurus in the 11th house, sun in Taurus in the 10th house. The moon is healing, nurturing, abundant, familiar, safe, and home. This indicates starseed energy and the rediscovery of where you come from. There may even be direct communication coming to you from your star family. The challenge with this aspect is actually communicating with Lilith that's retrograded. It's about actually getting in touch with your true nature and desires. It's about taking a chance on yourself. It's like you fought so hard to be where you are now. Fully trust and surrender now. This could also be in regard to a tarot reading I did recently for Aquarius signs or the 11th house. This was 3 weeks ago. And the reading was titled "The Moment You Have Not Been Waiting For." All right. I think it was pertaining to a relationship on the way. And this is what you don't trust. Okay. It's like you fought hard to break free from boundaries and limitations, and now a relationship may be presented to you. Okay. Personally, it sounds like a trap, but to each his own. Chiron is squaring up with Venus. Okay, so last week this energy was giving energy vampirism. All right, Mars in Cancer indicated that you or others were attempting to pull on your heartstrings to disarm you of their true intentions. There was a need to understand the mission, and that was to learn boundaries for the natural boundary dissolver, Pisces. Pisces energy is the absolute magician because they can make things disappear. Like, who did it? Okay, Houdini, who did it? Chiron in Pisces in the ninth house is teaching those sensitive souls that they have the absolute power and to protect it at all costs. In other words, you are realizing you are the prize, and with that, you deserve so much more. For some, you truly believe you are the only one who can treat you right. Okay, it gives me sologami vibes. The challenge here is with Venus and Gemini. For some, you've worked so hard to be independent and free from any attachments, whether that be a person or habit. Your challenge or fear, rather, is knowing that people love trying to use others. And at this time, you are attracting a lot of people and you don't know who, nor do you even want to trust. You know, people try to pretend to be someone that they are not just to gain something or to push you away. Venus and Gemini can manifest as two-faced, okay? Some are two-faced unintentionally, meanwhile others are two-faced with the intent to deceive. The challenge again is trusting that any relationship, friendship, or partnership you attract at this time is soul tribe and can be trusted. It's funny because the older you spent a lot of time trusting people who you should have avoided, and now the people you can trust, you don't. On another note, your pain has alchemized into triumph and success. This is why others are attracted towards you, because they either want to learn or they want to steal from you. All right, you are ready to put your live BS detector to use. Okay, you've healed and transformed. There's truly nothing for you to worry about and or to fear, but that again just depends on your energy. All right, and so these are the aspects, the alchemical, the alchemy. Well, I don't know what I'm gonna call this. I'm still trying to find my little way, so who knows how I'm gonna structure this, but this is definitely the week. These are the planetary aspects. This is the week of all bets are in. If you guys want the planetary aspects, so the sun is in this sign, this moon is in this sign, and I break down what that energy means, that is available on my podcast. Please look into the description box below. I'm on damn near all platforms. There's no excuses. All right, so I'll see you guys next week, and or actually I'm gonna see you guys soon. Okay.